we all said, maybe not G, but I know the rest of us all said, let's hope he doesn't have to play.
Yeah.
Right?
I said that.
We all said it.
Yeah.
I was excited.
And
Also, if you go back to our Week 4 conversation, we all were saying, why aren't you calling Joe Flacco?
yeah.
So, I mean.
But in the perfect world, you didn't want him to play, and now he's played very well. We'll see. Can he keep it up for the rest of the season? Who knows?
Well, I love the fact
so far,
that he
he's
had to
played
be
great.
asked yesterday in the news conference, is he your starter going forward? Yeah.
What you talking about?
gotta ask the
Anybody that's
question.
watching Browns football in 2023, that's not a question. The bigger question is, and this can be discussed, do you extend him for next year?
Well, we'll get there in
We
a
got
sec.
the 2-year deal on the table. I already,
Why not? Why
applauding.
not? We found out this year just how important the backup quarterback is. Or we go back to P.J. Walker. I mean, I'm good if you guys want to do that.
Yeah, okay,
Mikey.
yeah.
We
our
will
first
talk
hello,
plenty
good
of
morning
Joe
to you.
Flacco. Happy Victory Monday. We got so many winning FanDuel tickets that we're going to spread them out throughout the week, and we're going to start with the biggest of the weekend, and we'll get to that in one sec. But first, as the weather gets colder, the NFL offers stay red hot on FanDuel, and right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right now. The app is easy to use, and there's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL. And shout out to my guy, Matt Colker, who turned $50 into $1,500 this week. He had the Browns money line, Flacco over passing yards, Njoku over receiving yards, Cooper over receiving yards, Moore over receiving yards, Ford over receiving yards, and Flacco over half a touchdown. That turned $50 into just shy of $1,500. So shout out to Matt. We got a ton of FanDuel tickets. We'll spread them out throughout the week. A lot of winners on the Browns. Kudos to you guys. Keep sending them to us. But guys, Joe Flacco, let's grade the performance as we do every Monday when we play Monday morning quarterback. He was good against the Rams. Was he even better in your eyes against Jacksonville?
No question.
He was a lot better.
Question. I give him an A. Even his pick, guys, I thought wasn't on him. There was obviously contact with the crosser, and he threw the ball where he was supposed to throw the ball. The receiver couldn't get there for mitigating factors. But take that pick out, 26, 45, 311, 3 touchdowns. Hell yeah. I'm just surprised the QBR so low. But
Well, the 26 of 45 is not great.
that
It's not
dinged
very
him. But
good,
again, I counted at least 4 drops. And if he's 30 for 45.
I hear you. You can say that about every quarterback in every game.
Yes, but the Browns lead the league in drops. And again, drops have been a problem. And I know you can't say that about every quarterback, but 4 drops gets you to 30-45, which gets you to 67% completion.
Well, I was surprised because I was looking at some of the advanced numbers. In the last 2 weeks, his advanced metrics, I know we don't care about it because he, on the eye test, he's playing well and they're winning. The advanced metrics don't like him, and I think it's the incompletions, the interceptions, the fumble. The fumble was on him yesterday. I was talking to a couple guys who felt like, they called a great blitz, and the Browns didn't have enough guys to protect over there, and Joe has to recognize that and get the ball out a little bit faster. So the fumble was on him, and so I think that's what dings him on the analytics side and the advanced stats side, EPA and all that stuff. But the eye test is he's a competent quarterback, and Kevin Stefanski has full faith in him because he knows the ball's going to go to the right spot.
You give him an A?
Yeah, I'd give him an A.
Yeah.
You got to factor in all these things.
Yes.
I mean, he's 39 years old. He's been on the couch. He hasn't played consistently well in about 8 years.
He's not yet 39. January.
Well, he'll be 39 in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
And
Hey, listen, as somebody in an advanced age, don't call me 50. All right. I'm going to fight you every time on that.
And it does. It feels like, at least I'm holding my breath. Like, okay, can they squeeze another month out of him?
Yeah.
How long is this going to last?
Right.
Is this for real? Is the final grains of sand going to fall through the hourglass? But to this point, he's given the best quarterback, the most consistent quarterback play of anyone. I know it's only 2 games.
Yeah.
But again, Kevin knows where the ball's going, and you kind of laugh and say, well, yeah, he's our starter. No, you don't understand. Kevin Stefanski won't confirm what day of the week it is. And he said he hitched his horse to Joe Flacco for the rest of the season.
Which is why I think it was such a no-brainer. I mean, you're right.
Huge.
He doesn't give you anything at all as to next week.
You
and the
could
fact
ask-
that
you
he
could
said
call-
write it in pen,
If
essentially.
you're on the record, you could call him up right now and say, Kevin, is today Monday? And he'd say, I'll check back. We'll check back.
Yeah, we're going to circle back. We're going to talk about it, and I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll let you know
think
tomorrow.
this
But it won't
shows
be Monday anymore.
I think this shows you once again how good a coach Kevin Stefanski is. But we'll get more of that later. but it's definitely an A if you just factor in everything. Has he been perfect? No, but he looks like the offense has a rhythm and flow that we have not seen all year. Not for back-to-back games, not at all. Like the Browns had a flow in the Titans game. The Browns had a good flow the second half against Baltimore, but for the most part, the offenses looked weird and looked
disjointed.
Disjointed is a perfect word. But for 2 weeks, this offense has had great rhythm, and he's had great rhythm. He's not going to be perfect. He's 39 years old, and he wasn't that good at 32. So, of course, he's not going to be great all the time. But the majority of the time, the last 2 weeks, he's made the right throw and made the right decision. And that's all you can ask. He's done way more than you could have expected. Part of that's Kevin and the game planning, no doubt about it. But Joe Flacco deserves a ton of credit.
Do you give him an A?
Absolutely. No brainer.
And real quick, the touchdown pass to David Bell, we talked about it last week. I liken it to the goal line touchdown when he was with the Jets last year and they were in here when he read Grant Delpit was in the wrong spot. He read the zero blitz. He knew that it was open. He shaded just a little bit to the right and made the big throw.
And the DB fell down, which helped.
Well, yeah, that always helps. And David Bell took 2.5 weeks to get into the end zone. But, hey, he scored.
He actually just scored.
Joe Flacco was faster running down. Look at the enthusiasm and the energy that Flacco has. His old ass is running down the field, all excited.
He's not Lamar Jackson in the pocket. He can move better than I thought that he could. He's been flushed a couple of times, and
that
I thought,
one play,
he stepped,
all right,
Jason. There was that one play where it looked like he was going to get sacked.
He was in
and
goal.
He spun out of it.
He was in goal,
and he ran over. I was like, "Damn, Flacco can move a little bit." He's not running down the field.
He had that. They came after the ball. He had the grip strength to hold on to the ball, the ability to stay on his feet, and I know exactly which play you're talking about. So he can move enough to keep himself alive. You're not going to be calling quarterback rollouts with him very often and all that. But he can keep plays alive at least and keep moving. He can move better than I thought that he could.
And let's face it, it's just nice to see a quarterback who's 6 foot, whatever the hell he is.
He's
like a big, strong dude.
Doesn't he? He looks like the strong, big, tall pocket passer. Yeah. And the offense, you always complain, and it's a fair complaint. Why doesn't our offense look like other NFL offense? It does. For the last 2 weeks, it has looked like a real NFL offense. That when you're at 3rd and 8, you're not telling the punter, get loose. You feel like at 3rd and 8, you've got a chance with this guy.
Yeah. I listen, he's a throwback. I'm going to give him an A-. The only reason I give him an A- is because he had the fumble. I don't put the interception on him. But, he reminds me of the times that you hang out with your grandfather and you got a mentor. They teach you, man stuff like, okay, this is how
to tie a knot.
Tie a knot. Here, I tie your tie. Or you sit with him and they teach you how to grill. And he's a man of very few words. Don't say much, but if you listen and you just sit and be quiet, you're going to learn something that you could use later on in your life. Joe Flacco is like one of those guys.
So we're calling him Grandpa Joe
Yeah,
now.
Grandpa Joe is out here. Now, you look at what he's been able to do and why he's so successful. If you take a look at it, he's part of another generation. See, there's generations in quarterbacks, right? And one of the things that Joe Flacco is able to do, and when he can run play action, that is a lost art. It's like a lost science. People are like, oh, that's the mind calendar.
Well, in this offense, it has been.
Because I think it's in the league in general, because he does it so well because he's so deliberate. It's like he's moving in slow motion, and he wants that safety to see it. He wants that linebacker to see it. And when you can run play action like that, now you give your receivers a couple extra seconds to get off the line of scrimmage, a couple extra seconds to get downfield to run their routes. And so Joe Flacco, to me, is a guy who, when you have that experience, it's like dancing. Kevin Stefanski don't have to tell him how to do the waltz or the two-step. He comes in right here, musically inclined, knows what to do, knows what the footsteps on the bootleg's supposed to look like. So now all Stefanski has to do is say, let's go ahead and run this because you like this. And the thing that makes it so impressive, when you look at his progressions, he has so much experience. He can get to his first target. And if his first target is not there, he don't even have to look at 2 and 3 in a progression. Because he knows, if that ain't there, I know what defense they're running, those two aren't. And what he was doing right after the running back right now. Now you give your running back 2 or 3, 4 extra yards because now you're getting into Kareem Hunt, you're getting into Jerome Ford, and they're getting the opportunity to make people miss and just move the sticks. So those things, those little small details, the devil's in the details. And Joe's doing all the small things, which is really making the offense move and getting them in a good position.
I think there's one stat that for me drives home what he's been able to do. Go back to Brian Sipe and count in your head the number of quarterbacks this team has had. You can't. You'd lose track at 30. He's the first quarterback since Brian Sipe to have 3 touchdown passes in a game of 30-plus yards.
Since 1980.
Like, you literally have to stop and say, wait a minute, what? All the quarterbacks, Bernie, I know there's been a lot of bad quarterback play.
I would like to go back to that Sipe game and see those throws. And this is to take nothing away from Joe. These dudes are wide open.
Wide open.
And it's not that he's throwing these great passes 30 and 40 yards.
No, he's not.
It's simple plays that are turning into home runs because there ain't nobody around
Well,
these
isn't
guys.
that his veteran eyes dissecting
Absolutely.
defenses
It's
and
great
seeing,
play calling.
you're going to give me the left quadrant of the field? I got this.
Nuggets, put that back up. You see that last graphic? You
Which
see
one?
it.
With the 3 touchdowns against the
Yes.
Bills?
When you got DTR and why I said give me Joe all day, and besides DTR, I like DTR. I gave him his nickname. But this is the stat. 3 touchdowns versus the blitz. Instead of Joe being flustered, not understanding the blitz is coming, getting sacked, doing stuff, he wants the blitz.
Sure.
That's where you come up with when they say you can't blitz that guy. Don't blitz him because he's going to find – he finds the open guy versus the blitz, and that's the biggest difference between a veteran and a young quarterback. He makes you pay when you blitz.
Yeah.
So now you got to think about it. Do I want to blitz Joe Flacco? Because he's a little more mobile than I thought.
And
side.
to your point, when you blitz him, you open yourself up to he's going to find whoever it is open and on busted coverage.
This
He's
was going to be
find
one
him.
of my my McNugget stats, but I'll give it to you now because it's this good, and G brought it up. His actual numbers against the blitz on Sunday: 9 for 12, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a perfect passer rating.
Now, the only problem with that is Houston gets those numbers too. And so does
Chicago.
the Jets and
Chicago's
Chicago
next
and
week.
Cincinnati. So for me, it tells me he's good. And this is the way of the league. This is football. When there's a book on you, not that there wasn't already a book on him, but I think the NFL had figured, Father Time caught up to him on the couch. Let's throw the blitzes at him. I think moving forward from here, you're going to see a lot smaller blitz rate against Joe Flacco because that's how he's been beating teams.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree. I think each team is not going to – teams do what – if it's a strength of a team, they're going to do it. They're not going to change it because so far in 2 games, Joe Flacco has had success against the blitz. Every team thinks they could do it better or do it a different way.
Well, good. Keep doing it. I hope they do. But I don't think they're that dumb.
I don't think that makes you dumb.
I think if you look at the
not
tape
enough
and
of
you
a
say,
sample size.
how is he beating us? He's clearly beating teams when they're sending the extra man. So please, keep doing it. I'm begging you, Chicago, bring the house. Houston, bring it.
I don't know.
Everybody.
Careful what you wish for.
No, bring it. He'll find it. The line, you know what's crazy to me? I think, and we're going to get to the line, but if you're looking for the real unsung hero in all of this, it's every man that's played all the snaps that has been the offensive line for the Browns in 2023. Because how they're keeping him upright, it's a miracle. Now, I know that they're jumping and they're moving and there's stupid penalties and all of that, but it just drives home Bill Callahan's strength. And the offensive line had to play as well as they did yesterday, or it's not a win. And I credit them a lot for what the Browns were able to accomplish.
James Hudson is awful at right tackle, but the rest of the O-line is playing really well.
Oh, my God. Listen.
Thankfully, we don't see him that much.
Yeah.
Leatherwood cannot be that bad. He cannot
I don't know,
be.
man.
He must be. He's a first-round pick, and he can't even get off the practice squad.
don't understand it. James Hudson is just moving around. Like, what are you doing?
When is Jed? I can't believe I'm asking
This
for
is
Jed
crazy.
back. But when's he eligible to come off IR? Is it this week?
God, it's got to be close.
4 weeks, right? It's got to be.
Hasn't he
Gotta
missed
be
4
close.
games already?
I'll double check.
Yeah.
Jason, you were in the locker room, though. What were the other guys saying about Joe Flacco and what he did on Sunday?
Love him. They the guys I talked to thought I think everyone's surprised by this. No one really knew what to expect. No one knew what he had left. And he's just sort of come in and taken everything by storm. And, I was talking to one guy, we were talking about Trevor Lawrence earlier, who said there ain't no way that's a high ankle sprain. I don't know what he had, but This guy was talking. He's like, I've had high ankle sprains. You can't move like that.
Well, was he taped? These
So-
guys saw the tape job, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, but in terms of, I just popped into my head, but in terms of how they responded to Flacco, again, it goes back to they feel like they know where the ball's going to be. They know the ball's going to be in the right spot. And it's going to be on time and on target. He's going to get it out quick for the most part. He had the fumble when he needed to get out a little bit faster. And even Flacco said that. He said, with the touchdown pass, he felt like he felt it coming and he knew to shift to the right and make the throw. And he said, but as soon as I say that, I got blitzed from the right side and lost the ball when it was right there in front of me. So, there's still kinks to work out. The more reps he gets, the better he's going to be. We can talk about practice reps and all that and how important they are. And I expect him to continue to play at this level. I think he can. But again, you're just sort of holding your breath and going, boy, I hope this lasts. I hope this lasts. I don't know how many magic beans are left in the pocket. But to this point, he's just been terrific.
Bears they play the Bears next week. Bears had a nice win over the Lions yesterday, which was
It's funny. The with the exception of Houston, the teams that are left on the Browns' schedule, all 3 of the 4 had really nice wins yesterday. The Jets. I mean, granted, he was playing a team that was pretty dinged up, but the Jets, the Bengals, and the Bears, all of a sudden, those aren't slam dunk easy wins. All of a sudden,
I was going to ask this question, Jason. How many more games do you need to see before you feel like this is sustainable? I can't believe this.
Well, I think we think that now. Like you have that hope now.
But you're not. Okay, let me rephrase it. When will you stop holding your breath?
When the season's over.
I agree.
yeah, hope's not a plan.
Remember, it's a different year, and who knows? Maybe Joe Flacco's going to play 8 straight games. Maybe they're going to the Super Bowl. Who the hell knows? But this has been such a wacky year. I can't put anything past anybody. I don't know who's going to win the AFC.
But we thought the AFC was going to be the class. We were like, well, who the hell's going to be good in the NFC?
Yeah,
the NFC's got the top 3 records. Crazy.
Yeah.
Philadelphia looks terrible right now. The last 2 weeks they've got
but
slow.
I mean, they're still part of the
San
3.
Fran and Dallas look like the 2 best teams in football right now.
Unbelievable.
Although Baltimore, even though it was a wild game, I think Baltimore's the best team in the AFC right now.
But hey, look at all the playoff teams, the AFC and NFC. Every team in the playoffs that the Browns have played, they've beaten. Every team. Yeah. Now, they lost to Baltimore and they lost to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But they also beat Baltimore and Pittsburgh. They beat San Francisco. They beat
Jacksonville.
So every team right now that's in a playoff spot, the Browns have beaten them this year.